Hello. Hey there. How are you? Welcome to Ardent Week 10! Whew! It's a long time. It's a long time to put up with these.
Ooh. Ooh.
Thanks. I was waiting for at least one of you to put some effort in. I mean, it wasn't much, but it was something.
It was a noise.
It was at least sound. So, how are you doing, boys?
Hungry.
Those two are eating, so apparently I'm the only one who can talk.
Alright, food check, food check. I know Neil has homemade katsu soup. What's Scott got?
Shitty frozen pork dumplings that I then, thawed and cooked in a frying pan with some oil and salt.
Still pretty good eating. I mean,
Could be worse.
could be, yeah, exactly. Could be worse. And is very space appropriate because every sci-fi always has like dumplings and noodles as like the main food sources. So,
I have a bean.
all right, Rain. There's a reason why people think that Rain's stupid. So, where we left off last time, you discovered that Excalibur's master plan is some sort of assassination against the president of Novus, who is traveling to the Pike system, to the planet of Ballista, to meet the Prime Minister of Pike, to deal with this in a sensible political way. You made your way to Ballista, you infiltrated a construction company with some shady dealings, and nabbed some data from them, and totally didn't cause any chaos on the space station at all. And that's pretty much where we left off. Let me know if I'm missing anything out important, but like that's pretty much the main dealio. Is that you just stole those the data from the Jace constructing?
Well, it's less we stole the data and more we stole the hard drive.
The data is in the hard drive. Hopefully.
Yeah, but I feel like it's an important...
There's a middle step that you have to do to get the data out, but luckily you have an NPC who does that. And that's pretty much where we start today. You left that space station in quite a rush, with Anna pretty much making the executive decision of, well, we're working for Pike, so I'm sure they'll take away our sentences.
I didn't murder a man. Don't know what you're on about.
Breaking out of the space station. Illegally, you are currently in flight over Ballista, just out of its atmosphere. And again, Ballista is this large ocean planet with dotted cities on it, which are mostly for the rich and famous, and some private communities and things. While Henrique is trying to crack that hard drive that Rain brought. Just the hard drive. You know, no passwords, no data, just the whole thing. And this is the future. Do you know how much data is on a hard drive? A lot.
Well, I think considering the circumstances, I did okay.
They must have like a super advanced.
At least you
paperclip to
succeeded
help
the
them
mission,
search.
right?
I succeeded.
Yeah, exactly.
I succeeded in intelligence roll to figure out where the thing was. Rain succeeded in intelligence roll.
Okay, you know what? You put it back in a good light.
Let me put it this way. Ian succeeded a roll.
An important role.
In Ardent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, kind of are you just happy as a crew to wait until that data is removed? Henrique says it might take a while. You know, he's plugged it into the consoles on the bridge and is trying to remove the data in a safe way that won't, open up any backdoors in your own personal security.
Well, could we see? Just ruined all of Ollie's work placing me there.
No, it's fine.
I improved it.
Scott's the one that's like a little weird
It's
right
off
now.
at a weird angle. Actually.
Yeah, I can't be bothered to fix it, but he's just uncanny right now.
You're off tilt, man.
My camera's actually tilted at the moment, and I'm not correctly placed, but,
You're
what comes
actually
out,
having an earthquake right now. Turn that into a GIF.
All right, what are you doing, Neil?
We could potentially Captain, while we're waiting for the data to be sorted out, we could see about getting us some form of aquatic transport.
They did mention they have plenty of stuff to fix for underwater things.
I've discussed this with Anna before. There is something down below that we can acquire and use that for means of getting to and from when it's actually time to assault the base itself. You know, we can use it as a means of going undetected, since our ship is not designed to go into the water.
So is that a yes or a no?
You just said what I said, but kept the details vague.
I'm thinking. Anna had also said that we could potentially retrofit the ship. Obviously, it needs its repairs, but we're retrofit the ship to be able to go into the water as well. I'm just wondering which task we should set upon her.
Well, I mean, I don't know much about how these things work, but I think retrofitting the ship should have had to take a while. Probably any time we got.
Turn to Anna.
Anna just does a sort of like a... It's not as easy as it sounds, Captain.
All
I
right.
don't know how much time we have. I mean, if the news is anything to go by, your president is going to pop into this system literally any minute now.
Well, if we want to go unassuming, we can't just go out and buy something, especially since we don't have the credits to do so. We're gonna have to pick up something that we can fix relatively easily. So I suppose scouring whoever has second-hand or junkyard material that we can fix up to be able to use to actually start our search down below. But before we can even start that search, we need to have a bit more accuracy of where it is that we're searching. And we didn't pull that off the data, did we?
It hasn't even, like, the data is like 1% processed.
Yeah, exactly. So I suppose step one, we'll do exactly what you guys were just suggesting. We'll go out and see if we could find something to get us about here and there. We'll see about retrofitting the ship later on. So we're still trying to evolve our plan. Fine. I look to the two of them and say, since it's what you wanted to do, either of you have a lead of where we can get it from? Crickets, crickets, crickets. Anna?
Well, from a dock, obviously. Watch this. I'm connected to the Wi-Fi of this world, so I'm just gonna Google, like, submarine/aquatic ships for sale.
Yeah. You can give me
Yeah,
an
that-
administer
that's-
check.
That sort of thing's going to be available to the public, I'd have thought.
Administer
That's also going to be
what?
expensive.
Intelligence or wisdom?
Let's hope I roll well. Just for the purpose of... No.
What Prof does is he does bring up a whole bunch of Craigslist-like sites.
Yeah, it's like Gumtree.
Yeah, of like... But nothing that you could really...
Needs
use as a
to
true
go
lead.
today.
It's not ideal. It will remind you that, like, actually the place you just left had these vehicles. And also that means their company does.
That, but
You know, what's
Going
the
back
worst
there.
that could happen?
work.
And but Prob's route like idea is not terrible. He's just not good enough at using the internet to like properly find it. What you do notice, at least just from glancing at this, is that nearly none of the people selling these kind of things are actually on the surface of the planet. They're mostly in the little transit stations, like the one you just left. But there's multiple of them. The actual surface of Ballista is far too upper class to be selling such sort of thing. I mean, if you're interested in like a yacht, you could
Yeah, we
buy
can
a
take
yacht.
it down with the pleasure yacht.
Probably can't go underwater though.
Yachts are expensive because they require maintenance to withstand the actual weather effects. of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like underwater, you don't deal with weather. You know, just deal with the constants, whatever the issue is.
The constant everything is terrible. Yeah.
No, well, yeah, but once you like hit that constant, you just maintain versus like fix, deal with, fix. You know.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
so you guys, so you more or less aren't able to come up with any results, and so I'm like, exactly my point, which is why we need to, I think, turn to junkyards and have something fixed up to par. Well, I think at this point we're just gonna have to see if we can find something that Anna will be able to fix in time. I really think that beyond getting a device and getting down there and seeing what we can find out, we're kind of at a standstill. There's nothing else we can do until this data is cracked and so on. So I will make an administer check as well, but I'm not gonna rush this. I figured spend the rest of the day or whatever it is trying to find whatever device would be the best. I'll use Anna to assist me because she doesn't really have to do anything right now, does she?
Yeah, not really.
Scott is choosing to take 12.
No,
Yeah, that one.
Choosing to add a +1.
Yeah, I'll take a +1 from Anna and have her assist me in. Oh, because this is something that she has to fix.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take an 8. That's fine.
8's fine. Pretty much more or less what they found, but you actually find a bit more direct leads. I mean, of like I said, there's not going to be a junkyard actually on the surface of this planet, and if they are, they're too small for what you want. But you do find a more specific one on one of these stations, which you can start sort of listing your way towards.
So you mean like if there's old broken down bits of equipment, do they, from what we've been able to gather thus far, just like sink it to the bottom of the
They
ocean?
are, well, actually,
they lift it out.
No, they wouldn't, because that would corrupt their poor beautiful planet. They lift it out, like literally these companies you're looking at, these like junkers, they will, with fairly heavy duty machinery, but never space level, but heavy duty atmospheric machinery will just like, oh, your yacht's broken because you accidentally drove it into a storm because you're an idiot. They'll just like actually lift it and take it to their space station and process it there.
Okay, cool. So I suppose, yeah, sticking to this area up here, follow that lead. Like I said, we're spending the better part of the day finishing this up with Anna, and I suppose head out the next day to go over to that location.
It'd be one of those things that when you get some of a lead, you start drifting off that way. It's probably around 6 hours after your debacle on the last space station, while Davis is going over all of this stuff, and Prov is washing his uniform, and Brain is playing the guitar. Davis, who's probably in the bridge, or has his datapad links to the bridge, will get a ping that public transport of ships is public knowledge. Your ship has scanners. You can pick up other ships. It takes very little effort for you to tell that the ship that just entered the atmosphere around Ballista with an entourage of fighters is the President's own cruiser that has just appeared above Ballista and is approaching planet side.
So the timeline is accelerating and we're having zero headway whatsoever. So that's obviously infinitely frustrating for...
You do know
Captain.
where he's going to go. You know the city on the planet where he's heading to. So if you wanted to go there instead, that would be a totally appropriate thing.
That's if we're running defense instead of offense, though. We've all agreed that offense is the better option. So instead of like pulling out and going in an entirely different direction, you know, it's kind of like we're already in. Let's keep giving this a try or whatever, at least for now. It's like,
do we know his actual schedule, or do we just know the city? I presume we don't know the schedule.
The actual schedule, no, but Davis could probably tell you from this kind of thing. I mean, you know that he doesn't leave planet often, so it's probably very swift. You know, just to lessen any chance of anything bad happening. So it's probably likely, and also you can just straight up see that the planet instantly punches into the system, into the planet, and is instantly going into atmosphere and instantly doing, you know, atmospheric landing.
How many public sightings do people expect? Because, you know, like the news is always where they are before they get there. So like how, because you can't know their whole itinerary, but you can get a basic understanding of...
Hey, guess what you have to do, Scott? That's an administer check.
Yeah, that's fine.
Going through the
son.
paparazzi websites.
Can't just check the Radio Times anymore. Got to be an administer check. Jeez.
Flat roll?
Yeah, no modifiers, no. It's kind of hard to tell. You do definitely know where he's going. He's going to a city called Overlook, which isn't necessarily a full city, but is, you know, a self-sufficient community. Definitely the kind of place where this sort of political thing is going on. You look it up, beautiful pictures of the place. Definitely a place designed for these kind of political meetings. And has some heavy security to it too. Like literally what looks like kind of pretty statues from the... Because you got to imagine sort of like a Camino Sea city, right? There's a big sort of towering structure alongside the other skyscrapers, and beside it are 2 other towering structures that Davis can tell are actually like anti-air turrets, but they don't look like them. They look like art pieces, of course, because you can't have your city looking like it's defending itself from the air. But yeah, you don't know of any sort of schedule, but you can still assume it's going to be swift.
Yeah, I'll say it's so rare that he leaves. What's it called again? Novus. It's so rare that he leaves leaves Novus that all the reporters are playing it close to the chest. Nobody wants to give a lead for somebody else when they can scoop the story. All right. Looks like we're just gonna have to head down there. Sorry, it looks like we're just gonna have to. We already pulled in port or whatever you said. Let's see if we can get something and get down there before it's too late.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that we're gonna do make it in time now, because if he's already on the planet, basically, they might hit at any time. We might get down there, find an empty base.
Could you use your premonition? Would it be able to tell you when they're gonna attack?
Not when. I could get an idea of like how, but that probably ain't gonna be much use. I mean, we can already make a guess that he's probably gonna be poisoned or shot. It could be that something like that could happen at any time.
So
what you could do, if you're in the interest of time, because like you said, Scott, you basically worked overnight, and because it's all atmospheric and you have a fast ship, and are just sort of listlessly, without any sort of threat, because you are keeping slightly under the radar, but you're a stealth ship, head towards this station with the junkyard, the salvage yard, really. If you want to work over the night, that may give you some debuffs later on, that would definitely be the thing to do. If you wanted to avoid risk, so you could do everything you need to do here tonight and then maybe go there tomorrow, you know.
Okay.
Probably.
yeah, let's go into our big final battle, debuffed from a lack of a night's sleep.
Well, you know, do what you gotta do.
I'm getting a decent night's sleep because I can't be of any help, I imagine. But
we've continued with this for all of our own reasons to push forward with this task, and I think that for the first time, Davis thinks like it's getting ahead of him. Every time until now, you felt like they were only a step ahead because they had plans in advance, but you've been able to creep up along their side and gaining like traction the whole while. For the first time, it feels like it's slipping between our grasp, and you know, not only are they going to start being aware of the fact that we're a thing, but they're moving ahead without us being able to even make any ground. So he will deal with the debuff or whatever might come, just kind of push on. But not being an idiot, anybody else that doesn't have active duties, definitely have them getting their rest. So that includes your character as well, Neil. If if you're not working on like the, you know, decoding that thing with what's his face, like just get your sleep, relax, you know.
So we don't want to attempt to secure something tonight in terms of aquatic transport.
I think I don't know how much RP has to go along with that, but I think myself and Anna would go.
You don't have the money to just do this offhand. You're gonna have to just so you know, you're gonna have to do things. So you probably want at least someone else with you. Also, just for safety reasons.
Definitely gonna bring Anna because she's gonna have to be the one that looks over the ship. But yeah, if your character is also a mechanic, so I'll bring you as well. It's just so funny. Like my character doesn't view, like at first he viewed you as a ship's mechanic because you were supposed to be. Then he's like, you don't know what a tablet is. Why the fuck are you a ship mechanic? Like
he knows.
Like,
how
I used to work on tractor engines. It's like awesome. Now can you deal with this fusion reaction? Oh no, we boil fossil fuels back down there. It's like awesome.
No. Fossil fuels damage Mother Earth. You can't. It's all solar and wind and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Fossil fuels are strictly forbidden.
Well, this is fusion. That's probably also forbidden.
Yeah, probably.
No, why would fusion be forbidden?
It depends. Well, it would have to.
Not.
There would be heavy regulations.
Efficient.
It has to be clean and efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is a society where efficient nuclear reactors are commonplace. The danger is they're still fucking nuclear. Yeah, if you want to go, so you're already docked. It's one of those things.
One quick thing on in this overnight period when Davis is working through the night. My oracle extends for a day, and you need to commit effort for the day. If I activate it, can we treat it as if the long rest cures it now, or would you want me to effectively treat it as...
That's a little shenanigansy, especially because we always do it as your dreams.
That's why I'm asking.
No, especially as your dreams doing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it's actually dreams, effectively, so...
Sorry.
It was worth trying. I wasn't
It's worth asking. It's definitely worth asking.
Yeah, and it was basically, I was like, is it going to happen tomorrow? Is going to be basically what I'm going for, because I can't see past the day anyway, so...
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea for Rain to get rest anyway, because she's the psychic.
Yeah.
You usually want that sleep. So you're docked on this other space station. I mean, at first glance, it's incredibly... It's very freaking similar to the other one. There's just a salvage yard on here. In fact, this station is mostly the salvage yard. It might even have been built by the salvage group of several companies that are working together here and in this local areas, like on the moons or any stations that are in a nearby area. So it's a small station. You had no problem docking and getting off. And again, it's like the other one. You're in a literal hangar with several other ships and you just set down.
And this one is a station orbiting the main planet. Yeah.
Yeah, just like the last one. It's high atmospheric orbit. It's high enough that some vehicles leaving it don't need to be spaceships. So they have shuttles going down and much more heavy duty shuttles here. But yeah.
Oh, don't need to be spaceships. So you mean it's in low orbit?
That one, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's enough that ships can come in without breaking up in atmosphere if they aren't designed. But also, not all the ships... They still need to be able to design to go high enough up, but still. It's not like you could take, like, a ground car up here. But...
Woo! Look at me, my ground car. Beep, beep.
So, yeah, you took Krov and Anna with you, Davis.
Okay. Cool. Go to the location. You know, it's is this actually like a used car dealership sort of a thing? Is it a junkyard?
You know, kinda. Yeah, it's more like a sort of scrapyard in the middle of nowhere in America, where you can go and you can kind of look around, and there'll be people with like prices and things, or they'll be painted onto the thing. Yeah, it's more like that kind of thing. It's not like the other place where you couldn't go into their sort of commercial area or their industrial area. No, you could straight up like walk into this area of scrap. And there are other people who are also looking to buy and sell like sometimes just scrap metal, or you know, like there's an old freaking like motorbike, you know, stuff like that. Like it's not just vehicle and full on spaceships. Although there are actually some full shuttles here as well. If you want to look for... So you want a submersible, basically. You want, like the kind of thing that, like, frickin' documentary filmers go down when they're filming fish.
What is it, Johnny Quest? Is that what it's called? A Sea Quest. Sorry.
I'm too young for that reference.
I'm too young for that reference.
So I'm trying to... Either you could do an administer to kind of go, like, okay... They would have records of pretty much all they have. This is what we want. Or Prov... Actually, I think you should both do this. Prov, give me a fix, wisdom or intelligence, because you're looking around, basically trying to find the best thing. And you two can work together in both your separate ways. Prov, you have a +1 because Anna is helping you on that side, being the much more like practical, mechanically minded thing.
What sort of fix?
Fix, wisdom, or in. Oh, or charisma if you want to talk to other people. I don't know if you have good charisma. I don't think you do.
I have good nothing. Fool!
Rip Jason.
Rip.
Yeah, that's not great.
Prov does not roll as well as Jason.
But he does assassinate people.
He does kill people more than Jason.
I don't know, Jason assassinated somebody.
So you need an administer in...
You remember.
Scott.
Okay, 1 second. And there was a flat roll, right?
Yep. Luckily, you did much better. There actually are these sort of submersibles here. There's actually a few of them. One of them, looking around, they're in different levels of disrepair, right? They're all very expensive. because these are pretty damn good technology. They have to be sealed, environments. They actually usually have like grabbable arms because, like you heard in the other station, a lot of them are used for construction, right? One of them that's used for construction and is in pretty good quality. It's rusty, but that's because everything here is rusty. Even though it's the future, it's meant to be rust-proof metals. It's rusty. And also, what is very much evident is that clearly it was in worse condition. Then they used that metal polyfiller to like fill in the obvious gaps. But that one, you figure, just by like getting Anna and Prob to look at it, is like, that could be in use. Unfortunately, it is 20,000 credits.
How much do we have again?
Not that much.
No,
unless you do, which would be very convenient right now.
Like 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we actually have almost. Yeah.
You've not This has been a typical low to no money Stars What Number game.
Yeah.
Another one that is not designed for construction. It's much more a transport. It's basically an underwater shuttle. But it is in much worse condition. It would need repairing. Is 12,000 credits.
Mm.
And those are the two that really catch your eye. But like I said, the other one is in pretty good condition.
I'm gonna weigh in on Anna's opinion of what would be better for something that's going to be like a fast, because obviously we need to try to, because we're not going to be able to stay off of radar. That's impossible, right? It's sonar. My apologies, but we can get something that's going to be fast.
She kind of looks at both of them and is like, well, the shuttle would be fast, but the utility of the other one would be pretty valuable. I don't know if we're going to need to break open any sort of defenses or something, which might be useful. We don't even know where this place is yet, but if we can assume it's on the bottom of the sea somewhere. Also, we know that Excalibur's ship is fucking fast anyway. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to outspeed it, even in something like this.
It's not a matter of the ship. It's a matter of being able to get their base, being able to get into the base without, as quickly as possible. Because as soon as they ping us on sonar, I wanted us to be able to, get too close for them to react. So whatever you can make dangerously fast without exploding us.
Would either of these fit in our cargo bay?
Ooh. No, this ship has next to no. Your current ship has next to no cargo bay. They would both probably fit in the Magpie's cargo bay, but this ship has nearly no cargo bay. But you could jimmy rig it to like the bottom of the ship or something, or Prov, give me a notice wisdom check, please.
Oh baby, don't roll so bad this time. Roll bad again.
Well, you'd have to jimmy it to the bottom of the ship.
Or something else.
Or something. That means there is a something else. You just now have to fit it together. But yeah, it would be a hard thing. I mean, of course, these submersibles probably can. Maybe the shuttle one can fly a little bit in atmosphere if it was properly repaired. The other one is, a drop and sploosh.
Are you telling me we orbital drop shock trooper? This.
I'm not telling you anything. That may have been what that role is, because this is essentially, this area where you're in the scrapyard is essentially a bunch of prefab hangars where the inner walls have been removed. So it's this big open space with airlock doors.
I always wanted to be an
outside.
ODST.
I mean, for getting on the planet, we're going to use whatever method they use to put it down there. We're not just going to because as soon as it hits the water, it's going to be like hit in cement. You know what I mean? It's like it's going to and then it dives all the way down to exactly what we need because it's so aerodynamic. It cuts through the So we're going to use whatever method they use.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
We dropped the entire station.
Okay, well that's a different conversation.
That's a different conversation. That way you can have both.
We drop the entire station on the city that the president is in during the attack, so we take them all out at once.
Are you Ultron right now?
Dropping the entire station might draw the attention, and he might not go public for a few hours until they find out what's going on.
You are a terrorist.
Yeah. You're supposed to know that you made a threat against him, and then you did something nearby, so that
Now,
They would
unfortunately,
Flexing my new Earth muscles.
where this station is actually near above the ice caps, so quite a bit far away from Overlook. But still, the concept works. But what is here in this area instead?
It's the cheap airspace. I gotcha.
Oh yeah,
less
it's
desirable,
literally the cheap airspace. Is that they do have, like I said, these heavy duty cargo salvage shuttles that you can see sort of docked outside, kind of pressed the outside of the station, which would be how they would get them from there to there. But you can't afford buying this thing, so.
Yeah. All right. So,
but if you were to require one.
So did Anna think that the cheaper one was the better option for us then?
If you are interested in just straight speed, the cheaper one is a better thing, but you need to jury rig it to be usable. But you're not interested in comfort, so literally all she'd have to do, and her and Prob would have to do, would make sure it has no holes, and the air filters work enough, because you're not even going to use it for a long time. You don't need perfect air filters, you just need it to be able to cycle a couple of hours at least,
Because once we're in there, we blow everything up, and we actually go in, theoretically, we can take one of their own vessels to get back out, because even if you flood the station, blow it up, there will still be a bunch of vessels, so at least one of them will have to function, So it's not meant to be a one-way trip. So
exactly.
I can see where how this is gonna end.
I guess I look to the two of them and go, I can try to barter, but I don't think any deception is going to work here. I'm not going to be able to order anything given to us. I'm not going to be able to do anything with the president of Novus in town. I won't be able to use my command. This is Pike anyways, right? But I want to be able to use any Novus commands because this is too much Novus presence for me to slip into the radar. If there's some, then maybe. But there's too much. It's too easily double-checked. Our best bet is to barter. But even then, we've got, I think, amongst the crew, 1,000, barely more than that credits to scratch together. That's not much. That's, 7% of a vessel?
I don't think that would cut it.
Maybe a little more than 10%.
Perhaps we ought to think about the greater good.
Anna kind of rubs her hands together and says, I might be able to get in contact with some people and maybe...
Wait a minute. Captain, you can take it on finance.
Thinks for a moment. He's like, well, I did not only fix my own credit score, but I was able to work on Jason's as well. That was foolish. And he thinks for a moment, and he says some sort of phrase that more or less refers to Pike, lenders.
Yeah, which is very much true because you spent time with Mickey and Thomas.
It's vaguely racist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pike lenders. And he's like, that's not a bad idea. It's just the worst idea.
Anna sort of shrugs and says, maybe the government will help when all this is done. That's kind of what I've been putting all of our chips on, honestly.
Yeah, same here. Just having my name and social, all 38 digits of it linked to...
Scott, this is a utopian future. Do you think they use something as archaic as your cardboard social security system?
It's not cardboard. It's digital.
Okay, have they evolved to digital now? Okay.
No, of course. But anyways, they have to pull my information, right? Whatever.
I just wanted to sass the system.
You don't even want to know what my wife had to go through this month, but not on stream. That's just too much time eating.
Scott, that happens every month.
Wow. And now you made it sexist. I was referring to government.
That wasn't sexist. That just acknowledged that periods exist.
Yeah, and it's difficult.
Yeah, at the end of every sentence. So anyway,
it's just joke upon joke upon joke like a stack of pancakes.
He goes up to the counter and God fuck, I have to schmooze. This is awful. So he goes up to the counter and says, "Pardon."
Yeah, what do you need? You looking at buying one of those fine vehicles over there?
That's why I'm here.
All right. Well, he kind of taps on his little device and gets up the prices and sort of turns the screen to you.
I take the thing and I hand it off to whoever to actually look at whatever fake schematics of the ship they have set up to lie about the condition it's in, and then I look to him and say, "In-house financing, or do I have to source to a different crediting office?"
We don't have a service here, but there is a crediting office over there. Like, essentially, Scott, you're going to need to give me a trade check.
Oh boy.
I'll get to that in a second. I say, fine. I'm willing to go and get the financing I need to get started up with the job that I have. But before I do so, I want my crew, these are my engineers, to look over the vessel, make sure its value is in line with what the tag says.
That's perfectly reasonable if you've got an interest to do so. They kind of tap something in that maybe disable some sort of alarm system, who knows. And we'll sort of throw the keys to Anna.
I'll point to the other one as well and say, I might as well check that one too, because you know how bankers are. I'll be back in a while. I very upsettedly just walk away.
Trudge towards the mega corporation bank across the hall.
Yeah.
Prop will follow you. He's interested.
No, you're supposed to be looking at the ship, not looking at my finances and how much money I have in my bank account.
He doesn't have a bank account. He's only read about finance.
Okay, so when the puppy tries to follow me, leaving for work, I inform it that its kennel is where it belongs, and then I lock the door behind it. And then so because we don't need to RP the whole
No, exactly. Just give me a trade check. Intelligence, please.
The puppy bites you with its chain axe.
Assassinate!
yeah, he just follows you stealthily. Done.
Before I do this, I'm gonna make a no check. I'm gonna be a little deceptive here.
Oh, you're trying to look for a way to get a super good deal by going a little under the covers.
So instead of so I don't know how financing is done in the future, but modern day, there's many different types of loans that you can take.
Exactly.
Instead of doing a personal or a vehicle loan, I'm actually intentionally trying to do a small business loan.
Yeah.
Like one where they're funding an idea. So I'm going to do a no check, intelligence, I imagine, to know what kind of trade would be a smart one to approach them with.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
I was kind of hoping you'd do something like that, or a talk or something. And absolutely, you have. You've talked with your late husband about all sorts of business plans that may go into in the future. But essentially, you managed to look things up about this corporation, this bank before you go there, and very easily managed to find a way where you can get the ship you want financed with a couple of white lies that won't hurt anyone. Because you're about to save the frickin' system.
So I'll do that trade like you had asked. Instead of intelligence, do charisma, because technically I'm
yes, I'd also give you a +3, because that was a really good roll.
Okay, cool. So I'll take a +3. So starting a business. Lovely. I hope it gives you a good
What's the business called?
Oh, what's the trade?
Up to you. You're the one making it.
No. Well, so I'm just make up what makes sense for the world.
Well, you're buying a submersible, unless you're not.
No, I'm buying the submersible. But I'm saying what trade would make sense for me to have said to them, or I can make that up too.
Well, exactly. You're buying a submersible, so what? So if you're buying a little one, maybe it's tourism, like you're showing people underwater, stuff like that.
Gotcha. So, let's see. Would it be treasure hunting? Would it be? You know what? I bet there is a type of crustacean or some sort of creature here that's a little elusive. Like black truffles.
Yeah.
Are fucking.
You're gonna be. Are you gonna be one of the people on
you're gonna start up a business called Sea Pigs, where we dig for the proverbial truffles because pigs smell really good, so they find the truffles. These are the truffles of the sea.
This is why you didn't take Prov with you in the...
Yeah. We know how
Sea pig!
I love how Neil carried on trying to justify it.
He's not gonna come up with anything better. You just wait.
So whatever it is, because you know how like people's always have like there's medicinal benefits to these things. So just to make this fit my narrative here, I'm gonna go down there searching for some relatively difficult but very valuable natural thing that appears in this world, whether it be an animal or a mineral, whatever it is. Anyways, it has not only like an edible or a cuisine value, but also has a medicinal value. So I'm gonna call it doctor's orders.
Sure.
That's the name of the business. You know. Yep.
Neil's just not happy because it wasn't his idea.
I fulfill the doctor's orders, and it's an homage to Jason.
Sea pigs is
that
an
is
homage.
absolutely fine. You can get this paperwork done pretty quickly when you explain things and you sort of know a couple of ways to get things to travel fast.
They scoff at my title. They're like, "Are you sure this is the name you want? We're just thinking of marketability." I'm like, we can give you a 12, like a critical success. And I'm like, no, it's important for Jason. They're like, okay, we'll give you less money and a higher interest rate. I'm like, okay.
But you managed to get this done before the night is over. On a station like this, the station time is in line with the planet side time.
Ollie, how much money did I pull? Because I would have gone like for a larger amount of money if possible. And how much were they able to barter the guy back to for the ship based off of disparity between what they found and what he's
Oh, no,
claimed?
it's actually pretty much exactly what they found. It'll still be 12,000. I'd say you'd probably got around, if you also include that you're going to need to pay for someone to basically drop it. Into the
Also,
CV.
other startup equipment.
Exactly, stuff like
Because the
that.
business, 1 year's financing to make sure everything's up and going. Like, we're talking.
Probably end up with around 4,000 extra to fudge around with.
Okay. All right. So then I'm going to take this to you guys out of game. Would you want me to try to push for that 4,000 extra to get the better of the two vessels, or keep that and you guys, I'll let you spend money as you need it for like shit we need to succeed this task?
Well, I mean,
We're getting the shuttle, aren't we?
We're getting the smaller shuttle. We could try to force it through for the larger shuttle, or we can keep it as
The
extra.
small
keep
shuttle
it
that
on top.
needs fixing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get the other one, you can just go instantly, essentially.
yeah, I mean, it not needing fixing is quite.
Yeah, I
handy.
mean, and the other one has like little grabby hands, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a construction vehicle.
So I'm down for the grabby hands.
yeah.
I knew he would.
Okay. And last question I have to ask, Ollie. What time of day is it? Like, is it
It
nearing?
is, at this point, probably like 4 in the morning.
Okay, so it's nearing bedtime. Cool. Then I don't mind doing this. So I'm going to go up to the guy, and I'm going to have my financing and everything, and they're going to have come to terms, whatever, on the other one, and they're probably getting ready just for me to sign the paperwork.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'm going to come in and be like, I don't want that one. I want that one, except you're not going to give it to me for 20. You're going to give it to me for 18. No, sorry, 16. Right? Yeah, 16 is enough.
Oh boy.
Oh, you're not using your ability?
Oh, I'm going to. Sorry.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Sorry. My apologies, Ollie.
Yeah, give me the thing against his morale score, which is not going to be great. Hopefully it's not that. It's worse than that.
So I say it's going to be for 16 instead of 20. And so the deal here is simply you walk away with 12,000 credits, or you walk away with 16,000 credits.
Exactly. It's one of those things where this guy like scratches his beard and he's got a nice, super white Gandalfian beard and sort of like, yeah, well, you seem to need it in a rush, so by all means, take that one.
Okay. And
Do the requisite tippity typing, and then you put your new credit card in, business credit card.
awesome. And after as I'm paying for it, and I'm like, and we'll take that to the surface immediately.
Very well, and we'll sort of like, clearly call up someone who will, basically big ass like crane in the ceiling, picks up the whole thing, lifts it. Some stuff falls off, but it'll be fine. And hooks it outside so it can be connected to one of the things. They ask if you want to ride along, or if you can.
We're
going to
send Anna down to get things situated. Prav and I need to go back because like we both need a nap while she's finishing up, and then we have to get rain, and then we'll be transported down whatever way is normal.
You could take a shuttle from here, or you could fly the ship down. I mean, you have enough knowledge to fly the ship down to like park it. it above water.
Whatever works. We'll send her down to get it situated. But we I don't mind taking only a couple hours, but probably she gets some sleep. And we got to get Rand.
Exactly. Yeah. Okie dokie. So you send Anna down with the submersible. You when you're back on your ship, you can sort of see just based on her like ping of where she is that she's getting down to the water, and you can get your shut eye as much or as little as you can. Still probably only going to get like 4 or 6. Was there anything you wanted to do instead of sleeping there, Scott? Or did
I honestly don't think there's anything else that we can do that'd be successful. I imagine
You should check our armory to see whether it has rebreathers.
I mean, whatever we have for equipment, we'll take. Because obviously we're not stupid. We're going to take whatever makes sense for going for an underwater excursion or blowing up a thing.
Bunch of ammo, extra O2, like enough things that'll be relevant if they are relevant. You know how it is.
Yeah, of course. So my character doesn't just like curl up and get a good night's rest. I imagine he begrudgingly falls asleep like while working on his tablet in bed.
Exactly right. And you actually wake up, Davis, to a ping from Henrique, who and it's automated. It's from Henrique's console. It is essentially he's set up a program to follow those sort of paparazzi and news articles that you were vaguely interested in but couldn't get really far in. And it's pretty much the first photo of the president at Overlook instantly ping. Like the second it got like uploaded, which was the second it was taken because they're in a fucking high tech city. It got pinged, and it's literally like the president sort of like waving while being like jet lagged and coming down from where his cruiser is docked on Overlook, down like one of those little laddery things, stepwell things. So
okay, so when I see that, I will immediately message back and say, see if you could find like good job or GJ. See if you could find out where he is expected to be in the next several hours. Kind of like build an itinerary sort of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll come back to you in no time at all with the building that he's going to be at. Essentially, when I described Overlook, because you could look up the public plan, like maps of the city, you can just go with Google Maps, because Google owns everything in the future. And where I described there's sort of like a big like political tower where clearly like a lot of the politics in Pike goes on. There's like a plaza in front of that, like a big open plaza that's raised up, and below like it's sort of private because it's for people who like work in that area, but then a lot of the places on this place are sort of private. The meeting is set to take place there if the weather is good, and the weather is always good. So in this plaza there, he's set to be for essentially the rest of the day. They don't expect him to stay any more than a couple of days.
This plaza is exposed, like open, or
it's open.
Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to take my information, go and make, a fresh coffee or whatever, and I'm actually going to go to Rain's room, and I don't know if she's awake or not, but I'll go.
You're just like standing there with your coffee, the door opens, and she's just there asleep.
Yeah.
So I mean,
He's the captain. He can open any door.
I hit the ping so that someone's at the door.
Yeah. So yeah, she opens the door, little groggily.
I hand you whatever your favorite type of tea is.
Thanks, boss. What do you need something?
Can we have a seat?
Yeah. Sorry. By all means.
I give her a moment to settle down, have a couple sips of tea. I imagine she's the kind of person that doesn't just like slump in the chair. She slumps in the chair, then has to adjust herself 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
And then she's comfortable. And then after she seems to be a bit more alert, because all of our rooms have like terminals in them. They're just different quality. So I'll take the image of where it is he's expected to be for the rest of the day, the remainder of the day, and throw that up onto the terminal and say, this is where he's going to be. This is where the president of Novus is going to be spending his time. It's open, which means it's hard to defend, but also ballsy because it's hard to hit a target.
You
what
also
I'm
know
saying?
that there are anti-air turrets pretty much right beside that place.
Yeah, it's open, which is hard to defend, but also ballsy because it's hard to hit a target. If someone's in a small isolated place, it makes them a simple target. They can't go very far. A place like this, they could get lost amongst many others. So the thing to note about this target, sorry, this location, is that it's public. It's very much in the open eye. It's very likely that this could be where it takes place. I have a feeling, well, a logical person would just set off a large enough explosion that it would take care of it for them and everybody would see the boom. But these people are a little detached. They're a little personal, and their icon is literally that of a sword. So I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit more dramatic than a simple explosion. So anyways, I'm showing you the image because I need you to, if you can, clear your mind. Think of this place. Think of this day. Think of what you can and see if anything comes to you.
Like a train.
Like a train. Like plot chugging along.
Like a plot train. Yay!
Yeah, I can do that if you want, but recalling it, thinking about it, takes a bit out of me. I won't be able to blink as much later, but I guess you're still okay with that?
I think it's more important we know what's going to happen than react to what's already happening.
Cool. So Rain will gaze at the image for a moment, try and recall what she saw in her dreams.
See if she can
last
remember
night.
that in the dreams.
I'll stand up and give like a squeeze in her of her shoulder, and then I'll leave the room and give her privacy. Like there's no reason for me to invade.
Yeah.
Just get ready.
So Oracle, which I'm not going to press because it's like a wall of text.
No, you better press it. You can't use it without pressing it.
Fine, I'll press it.
You better.
Wall
Okay.
of text.
Are you still level zip?
I'm level 1.
Level
Oh, one,
so
of
it's
course,
day.
one day.
Yeah.
So can you please remind me, because it's been a long time since I did this part. Can you overburn to increase your level by 1? Is that a thing that exists, or is it only overburn to have extra?
I think that's effort. I can't remember the exact rules, but I'm pretty sure it's only I can do that to basically use extra effort.
Okay.
I think
So then I'm confusing it with my Mass Effect L2 ability. Where
I mean, I can look it up
Amp them up.
quickly, but if you want. But
Yeah.
I'm
No.
pretty-
I think I'm confusing it with L2 Mass Effect characters. So fine.
So
I mean, the thing is that the thing is that if it doesn't, if I don't see anything which suggests it's not in a day, then we're probably okay anyway because we can take
exactly,
Excalibur.
yeah. We've had discussion before where Ian's like, I don't know if I want to ever upgrade it because a day is so much more useful than any time
Yeah,
in a week.
like a week is actually less useful in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So when you sort of try to think through your dreams, Rain, and you've actually got better at this as time has gone on. You know, even
Keeping a dream journal, like old Jason said.
yeah, keeping a dream journal and going through even on like mundane days, like oh yeah, I had
I
a
imagine she
dream
probably
yesterday.
actually pulls it out and like,
Exactly. I had a dream yesterday about being trapped in a small room, and then I had to blink out of several small rooms. That's kind of convenient. Your dream last night was about dragons, and 2 dragons burst out of the water and attacked this place with their fire breath.
literal dragons.
In your dream.
But okay, so I don't know how. Obviously, it's a dream, so I'm not sure how well you're going to say I remember this. But is the rest of the scenery in these dreams like actual realistic, and then it's just two.
It's as a
dragons?
dream is. That you can clearly tell while you're looking at these photos and maybe swiping through them that this plaza is that place, and some of them are in more detail. In fact, this is like a very large area. There's parks in this plaza. There's like these glass domes where people where probably one of these meetings is going to go on in one of these glass domes, right? And from what it looks like, some of this dream you saw from like on the plaza, and the dragons rose up out of the water around it. The rest of the city, you know, if you can remember it, it's fuzzy and might even be like other places, you know, dreams, places.
But it's basically what I would try to figure out is whether or not the dragon is allegory or not, or whether it is as far because if everything else is realistic, then I'm going to take the dragons as being realistic. You know,
everything else is a dream.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
I
It's
know
like-
what you're saying. Everything else is a dream.
But it's a dream. Yeah,
It
okay,
felt
fair
real
enough.
when you were there.
Fair enough. Okay. So she would obviously be a little bit. Well, that's just strange for a little. We'll probably spend a bit longer than necessary just thinking about it, and then once she's like, so it's like with the cup of tea still in her hand, and then takes a sip of it and realizes it's gone cold. She's been thinking about it for so long, and then so puts it aside, goes out of the room, goes and finds Davis, and just goes up to him and goes, "Boss, I got you an answer, but it's pretty damn strange."
All right. Well, and imagine like we're in like the situation room or something because I was going over details. I'll press a button to have the doors like shut and then sit down.
I saw the plaza, but I mean, you figured it'd be swords or something, and that's certainly got an impact. But I saw dragons, 2 dragons, rise up out of the water and attack the plaza. I mean, it's a dream. I don't know if that's. I don't know if there are sea monsters on this planet, like actual or dragons or what, or whether that's like some kind of like they have some sort of machine that comes up out of the water and can attack. I don't know, but it's strange.
The life of this planet, Davis. Most planet in this, most life in these settings, in this setting, are life forms from Earth that have been transplanted into new environments to create a new ecosystem. Ballista has some of that, so you can enjoy your fishing, but also has some natural life forms that grew here, but nothing that could be constituted as a sea monster, some poisonous things. The rich and famous would not live on this planet in retirement if there was any risk of something big like being a sea monster. You do actually know that there is such thing, like there is a creature that is known as a dragon. Mm-hmm. I believe it's from the planet of Jorinth. There is like literally, like essentially a wild creature native to one of the planets in the settlement, which is a dragon, essentially, for all intents and purposes. That
Flying
is
semi-reptilian, but
often,
not necessarily
yeah,
fire-breathing.
exactly. But is often, incredibly crazy people tame and will transport them to other places because they will just like destroy things.
Yeah, but these dragons swooped up out of the water or swooped in? I'm sorry.
Out of the
Swooped
water.
up from the water.
And the dragons you're thinking of are not aquatic.
Aquatic, yeah.
They
yeah,
are
yeah.
mountain dwelling.
So I think for a few moments and think on
External.
stuff. I think on the different things, and I think the dragons might be symbolic, which is probably where you were going. Might refer to aquatic and air assault vehicles. Maybe not necessarily star-worthy, but something that's attuned for this planet.
Though I will say, obviously, like, I think the idea is that this is going to be big and flashy, as you figured.
Yeah.
I don't figure that the precise how matters. If there's going to be big things attacking the plaza, that's all we need to know, really.
I honestly think, and I could be reading this wrong, and I hope to hell that I'm not. I honestly think that what you're seeing, whether these be actual dragons from the planet of Joran, which I'm sure is like over our head, or creatures, or machines that burst from the sea and fly in for the assault, that they are there to take care of the guard, the defenses, that they are there to disrupt and to give an opportunity. I honestly think if they're going to make a statement, they're going to do it up close and personal. And the downside to that is that they have this planned out well enough that they don't care about anti-aircraft attacking devices, either because Pike is going to not fire upon their own, or they have a means to hack into or disable them. The upside to that means even when the assault starts, even when everything's done, if we happen to be in the area or anybody else, there's a chance to get to the president before it's too late, because they're going to want to make a scene of that. that finish. I still feel like the assault might be the better option. Take them out at their base before they get there. What time of day did it seem?
It would have been like full sun, middle of the day kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a range. Hard to tell with a dream, but seen pretty much like midday, middle of the day sometime.
Fuck.
I wouldn't have thought it'd have long. It certainly wasn't at night or anything like that.
They have a psychic. They have someone that can see what's likely going to happen, and so they can react to it. What if we did something that they didn't predict? What if we assaulted that location? Continue with the idea that I had before with our New Earther terrorist. What if we attacked first? And that put him in lockdown, brought him to the place of safety, triggered things too soon before they got to take their action. There'll be casualties. There's no question about that. That'll have to weigh on our souls. But if we attacked before they could,
Yeah, it could muck things up. I mean, that's what we did to get out of the lab. It would be we disrupted things. We messed things up. We snuck through the gaps. But I mean, it's a big risk, boss. If we did something like that, we get caught, and then we say we were trying to protect him from Excalibur. I mean, who's going to believe us? We'd have to not get caught and then go and take Excalibur in one blow, and even then they might not believe us.
I'll stand up and walk over to because I don't know how far she is from me, but I imagine because I was sitting in my seat, she wasn't too terribly close. I'll stand up and walk over to where she is, and then half lean on the desk or whatever, behind me, to face her, and say, "What if you're right? What if what we do does cause them to discover it's us and captures us? What if we're arrested, sentenced, and imprisoned for life? But we save the president's life and we stop a war from happening." Can I be honest with you about something, Rain?
Yeah.
It's a stealth ship. I imagine there's a means to shut off other people being able to communicate into this room and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because the command center. So lean over and hit whatever button it is that makes it so it's now we have private conversation. Nobody should have you. You, Orange, the others. Nobody should. New Earth, Novus, Pike, the Wraiths, doesn't matter. Nobody should have you. You should be able to live your own damn life without feeling like you're going to be persecuted, without somebody trying to use you for what abilities you have. So when I say if they catch us, I mean myself gone rogue, turned mad after the war, and my New Earther terrorist friend that I made along the way. Losing my husband was just too much, so I latched on to some young, nubile, crazy-minded boy.
That word is banned.
It'd sell to the papers. We can leave you out of it. Maybe you could still get to the girls. It would cripple Excalibur if we stop this plan and you can take away their assets. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. To save the president of Novus, to save the people of Pike and of Novus from war. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
What you're saying, that means a lot to me, boss. I'm just worried that if we do something like that, we scare the president a back into hiding. That ain't gonna stop what Excalibur are doing. They're gonna come again. They're gonna do something to try to start a war again.
Which is why I need you to get a hold of the girls. They don't need them there. You take care of one side. We take care of, I suppose, the assault on the plaza, do the distraction, get him to safety, they fly him off, da-da-da-da-da. But you, maybe with Anna's help, you get to the base. You get to the girls. Excalibur might still be around, as will Pike and Novus and everyone else, but without them, they're crippled. They're just a bunch of lunatics with a little bit of money.
There's a lot of ifs in this plan, boss.
There's a lot of ifs in every plan. Welcome to war. You don't win it in one fell swoop. It's one battle at a time. And I see two fronts. We're gonna have to fight both of them.
You got a pint. I mean, I was when we found out that he was on the planet already, I was beginning to think maybe we should go defend him. So, you ain't wrong. I'm loath to let you do that, boss, to take the fall. You've been good to me. You're being good to me in what you're saying, what you're offering to do. I don't want a good man like you to languish in jail and for trying to do the right thing.
The number of people that are going to die from this, attempted assassination of the presidents, don't worry. I'll get executed.
Well, that's even damn worse. At least if you were stuck in jail, I might be able to flip and pull you out of there.
And then you would be captured and they would have you, and it would not work out. But at least this way, I'd see him again.
Oh, shit. Well, that's a bloody low blow. That's a low blow, Davis. That's a low blow. I don't like this, but I don't like this at all. But
We're taking the whole plan and we're turning it upside down.
what you're saying makes sense. I'm worried even if we go to that base that we won't find any Excalibur left there. Excalibur himself might already be on a ship to the bloody city. He might be on his way to the plaza as we speak.
We don't need Excalibur. We just need
No,
the-
I know, but that's what I'm worried about. But if we were to assault the base, it's going to be meaningless. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. But I mean, what you're saying, I'm not good at thinking these sort of things through. But what you're saying makes sense to me, and you tend to know better about things like this anyway. You're the one who's lived through war.
Think about it. We still have a lot of work to do between now and then.
Yeah.
Spend some time. But
Give me a
this
couple
is
of-
between us, Rain. Nobody else can know.
Yeah, of course, boss, of course.
And with that, we're going to take our break. Thanks, Neil. We needed that positive energy.